and he is also a founding member of Telecom Standards Development Society of India, and his research includes communication theory and wireless communication. And with this note, I invite Professor Chaturvedi to deliver the talk. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Professor Kumar, for your kind introduction. I'm extremely delighted to be here speaking on this occasion. This is the first time I'm at this venue, getting very good vibes. This certainly raises the possibilities of very many new events, many nice events in the vicinity of IIT Kanpur. This organization of TRIPS-2025, I think the conceptualization of this event and the fact that it has been able to bring on one platform experienced people from very diverse backgrounds, this itself is no less than an achievement. We all have been working in the space of research, innovation, policy, technology. All these keywords they put together that constitute this TRIPS 2025. So what I will do is that I have a few points that I have distilled from my academic journey as a teacher, as a researcher, and as somebody who has held a few leadership responsibilities. That what are the key drivers which can facilitate innovation, which can drive innovation and address the anxiety of so many educated Indians that when we have the best brains, when will we become a developed country? But as some of you may be knowing in this room that very recently, less than 3 weeks back, I have taken over a new responsibility, and that responsibility is about the Banaras Hindu University. So I would like to spend one slide on the Banaras Hindu University, capturing its history and journey, and then try to relate at how we can learn from this university to be able to draw the future plans. So as you know, it is a more than 100 years old institution. It was founded in 1916. And academic activity started in 1970, and from the very beginning, the vision was that we cannot compartmentalize disciplines and segregate them into different things. If a holistic development either of society or technology or mankind is required, I think the vision was very clear, and as early as 1919, the College of Engineering was established, but at the same time, the Department of Ayurveda is also there. And then you can see that agriculture was also brought in, College of Science, College of Technology, Pharmaceutical Chemistry, and carrying this vision forward, we can see that in the last more than 100 years, it is now a place where it is very difficult to find a discipline which is not there. While for the other institutions, it is very easy to relate and say that this is an engineering institute or a science institute, it's an IISER or an IIT or an IN or a University of Agriculture, which is all put together into one. And more than that. More than that, it says that we have faculty of performing arts, faculty of visual arts. So that means that on the same campus, it is possible to collaborate, it is possible to learn from each other, and it is also possible to draw the best practices of different disciplines and learn from each other. So in a nutshell, the vastness and the depth and the ocean-like character of BHU can be summarized as it consists of 5 institutions: Institute of Medical Science, Institute of Agricultural Science, Institute of Management, Institute of Science, and so on. 16 faculties, 134 departments, 2 interdisciplinary schools, 11 research centers, 4 affiliated colleges, 400 disciplines, 35,000 students, and more than 1,800 faculty. So the reason why I mentioned this slide was of course because I want to connect with the youth, connect with the people who may not have visited BHU, who may not have, or who may have known BHU only through the history books, that it is a very living, vibrant campus, and it is a place where some of the best research is carried out. Today the H index of BHU is 268. So very few institutions will have a H index which is larger than 268. So, and this is possible because of the reasons that I've already cited before. Now going beyond BHU, I would like to talk about, as I said, whatever I have seen in my personal journey, that what are the things that are required so that the keenness, the enthusiasm, the intellect of youth or of experienced researchers translates into what we say as benefits for the society, or in terms of India becoming more and more a developed nation, and one day maybe truly standing shoulder to shoulder with the first world. So I believe that the key driver is twofold. What are the kind of career progression policies that our research labs and our academic institutions have? We have a big baggage in this regard, baggage of the past, that there are some very traditional ways of measuring the output of a career or measuring the impact of a career. And those have been dominating for obvious reasons, because it is not easy to shake the status quo and come out with new methods. But then somewhere that status quo is hurting our desire to connect with the society. Nobody in this room or nobody anywhere can dispute the importance of academic research or the research that is published in the topmost publications. But at the same time, when that becomes the yardstick or the principal yardstick for career progression, a lot of practices start coming to play, which may not be the desirable ones, or which may not be the initial drivers when these metrics were introduced. So there is a strong need to see that what kind of new metrics, in addition to these existing ones, can be introduced so that all of us come out of our respective comfort zones and see that how we can make a difference beyond the difference that is felt in the academic peer group. A similar kind of comment will be applicable to the peer recognition policies in terms of our role models, in terms of our people whom we look up to. What are the kinds of things that we want to emphasize in those high achievers? Who is a high achiever for me? Is it somebody who has a large number of publications in a very, very high impact journal? Or is it somebody who has been able to make a small innovation, but that innovation had a very huge effect on the society? Or maybe it is a combination of both. We cannot say it is only this, we cannot say it is only that, but then our mindsets are tuned in such a fashion that it may not be a simple exercise for us to carry this forward. Now, if we want to do this, then what are the new structures that are required in an university, in an IIT, or even in a research lab? And those new structures that I have in mind is something that goes beyond what is known as the R&D office, or the Dean of R&D, or in some institutions it is called the SPIC office, Sponsored Research and Industrial Consultancy Office. These are the offices who are required. We need them in future also, but then we cannot limit ourselves to only do these offices, because these are, if you think of it deeply, these are basically finance offices. They manage the nitty-gritty of incoming finance, expenditure finance, UCs, giving requisite certificates, making sure that employment is done as per rules, making sure that expenditure is done as per rules. So they are primarily now, because of the scale of operations, finance officers. We need to go beyond and say, can we have full-scale offices which are trying to see that what in each lab is there, with which there is some industry which can do some kind of a matchmaking. Whatever I am saying is not new. It is at least 3 decades, 4 decades old thoughts. But with renewed introspection and experience, it is possible to get new light into these thoughts. And that is that, how do you do an effective matchmaking? Is it only about getting some industrial funding? Or is it the other way around? The matchmaking will be considered successful only when something from the lab goes to the industry. And if it is not going, then what are the pain points? What are the factors that are inhibiting this journey from the lab to the corresponding industry? One reason why we are not very effective in this regard is because we have not customized our policies with respect to the needs of different disciplines. Often I have seen that whatever is the requirement of, say, communication industry, for example, in which I work, is not necessarily the same way in which a metallurgy or a chemical industry would function. So that means one size fits all or one rule fits all may not be the best policies. It is very difficult to expect the finance offices to change themselves, but it is very straightforward to expect that the technology transfer offices, or whatever name we want to give them, these offices will be able to customize themselves as per the needs of the respective industry, and they can have very, very flexible offices, flexible policies. These offices will not function primarily or only by full-time people employed in the respective IITs or universities, but they have to have a regular consultation with on-board engagement with people who are active in the industry. Not only people who are retired or whose innings in the industry is over. We need to get the time of people who are active in the industry, not full time, not for the full day, but occasionally. For example, when we are doing an assessment. When we are doing the assessment of any innovation done in an academic setting or a research setting, I think it is important to get the best experienced people in that industry to come and do a critical feedback so that the next few steps can be taken. Now, these things have not been tried in a very structured fashion. If a lot of patent filing or technology transfer that you have heard of, it is very, very low compared to the potential or the investment that has been made. So what I would say is that if this talk is getting recorded and if this is translated into the form of a write-up, which the organizers had thought to do in the beginning, if they continue with that, I'll be very happy to make it in a crisp statement which can make a difference across the country and across the disciplines. I want to end by making one more point, that many of us, when we talk initially about this office, it is thought about as if it is meant for incubation or startups. Actually, this is distinct from that. It may not be independent of that. There may be linkages, there may be relationships, but we must not confuse these offices as if they are meant for faculty or hand-holding the faculty so that they create startups. For that, a separate office is there. That is we need to work on that also. It is not about either this or that. It is about continuing with the existing setup, creating new templates, learning from the experience, and realizing that we have to work on all these things in parallel with wherever there are linkages, we can exploit those linkages. So I think I have been able to say what I wanted to say in the time that session chair had given me. So with this, I would like to conclude and thank you for the opportunity.